County Fiscal Court. We are glad you're with us, and for those watching online, we're glad you're with us as well. We'll begin as we always do with an invocation, and Reverend Eric Hoy from Presbyterian Church of Henderson is with us. Please stand.
Let us pray. Holy and loving God, we thank you for the opportunity for this fiscal court to meet together today. Thank you for our elected officials, and we just pray for their lives and that you would give them blessing in the work that they do, and that you would guide and direct their thoughts so that they can make the decisions on behalf of our county. And so thank you for our leadership, and we continue to pray for them and watch over them and ask your blessing upon them. Bless this meeting as we gather today to do your business of our county, for we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Magistrate Starks.
Here.
Magistrate Barry.
Here.
Magistrate Southard.
Here.
Magistrate Tompkins.
Yes, ma'am.
Magistrate Putman.
Here.
Gentlemen, you have before you the minutes of the June 9th, 2026 Fiscal Court meeting. After a period of review, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
So move. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any corrections, clarifications, or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Busy agenda, and Mr. Garrett, you made a perfect entrance as far as timing goes, and I would ask you to come up to the court. You're going to give us a recap on how our visit from our friends in the military went in helping our community last week, and please feel free to introduce your guests.
Right. You would catch me up there. Just walked up all those stairs. So, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We have just wrapped up the last 2 weeks of this IRT mission, and just like it was 2 years ago, these guys have really come together and brought us a great mission and all kinds of services to the community. I'm going to let them actually go over the numbers with you for a couple of minutes, and then we'll see how it goes. But we're very appreciative of everything they've done for Henderson, Webster, and Union County. I can't talk. So I'm going to bring up Colonel Peralta, and she's the leader. I'll let you introduce your group.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having us this morning. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Peralta. I am the mission officer in charge for the IRT here in Henderson, Kentucky. And together with my team, we do have Tech Sergeant Noriega Castro, who's the mission non-officer commission in charge, or non-commissioned officer in charge. We do have Lieutenant Beverly West. She is the reporting and administrative officer in charge, who keeps our numbers and everything else that you're about to hear. And our subject matter expert, logistics officer, Lieutenant Colonel Jordan Darnauer.
Hi.
And we have Senior Master Sergeant Legg, who is the senior non-commissioned officer who's in charge of logistics, transportation. He is the myth, the man, the everything. So we thank you guys for having us here to have this medical mission in Henderson, Union County, and Webster County. We did have more services included this year that was not included a couple years ago, such as audiology, hearing tests, physical therapy. We did have diet on board with us, and I think that there is a need for those services, in the future, if you guys wanting to bid again. I let my other colleagues speak as well.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Just want to say thank you for having us. I mean, it's been a great experience and giving back to the community while we're getting our own training, our own hands-on training here. We provided physical therapy, mental health, dietitian, nutrition, and then just optometry, and being able to give you guys classes at the same time it's been an amazing experience here, and we're just so glad to be helping the community.
Ready for stats? You want to do the stats last? Oh, we'll do stats.
Thank you for having us this morning and for the last about 14 days. I feel like we gleaned enough from the county. It wasn't just us providing services, but we also had quite the growing experience ourselves here. So we appreciate you, and the hospitality was next to none. So thank you very much.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I mean, the same sentiment that everyone just spoke here. Some of the things that what we found unique, especially to Henderson, is the amount of support in the community, both here, the local businesses, as we were patrons downtown in the evenings to kind of unwind from the day. On top of that, too, I don't know, Colonel Peralta mentioned it was close to almost 30 units. So we brought close to 30 medical units across the whole nation to come in here to help support you. We had the Navy here, we had the Army here, and we had the different branches of the Air Force, the Reserves, the Guard, and active duty. We had the Air Force Academy residents as well coming in. We also had the folks from Wright-Patterson coming in to provide more dental care. So it was definitely a joint effort. CONUS, I just got back, someone just got back from deployment last summer, completely different mission for us. It was nice to serve our own community here in stateside instead of overseas. So this was a fantastic and rewarding mission for all of us, and also to you guys for making sure people could come in and get the support they needed, because we definitely identified there was a lot of need here and a lot of folks that can't afford just the basic care that we were able to provide over the last 2 weeks. So thank you again for hosting us and letting us come here and do this.
Before Lieutenant West review the numbers with everybody, I would like to thank the community. I mean, the community pulled together for us to be able to perform our job. Kenny has been great. He's been there every single day. I can't thank Buzzy enough. He hooked us up with people like Linda White from Deaconess. We have Dr. Modes and all the other people, businesses that had come through at the very last moment because we were running out of things, and we didn't want to, stop our services. So, I mean, I cannot thank your community and having us here. Again, thank you. And the final numbers, Lieutenant West has it.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Before I give you the final numbers, I would just like to say thank you, because these missions allow us to get the training that we need, hone our skills, become proficient in our jobs, so that when we go downrange and we do deploy, we're able to take care of our service members. So this is a great training opportunity for us as well. All right, so the final numbers, and this is 11 to 21 June, and it encompasses Henderson, Union, and Webster counties, total numbers. For patients, we saw 2,344 humans and 441 animals with our vet team, and so that's a total of 2,785 patients. For procedures, we completed 19,926 procedures for all of the different services that we provided. And then fair market value, right, the big moneymaker right here, we saved by providing our services, we were able to do $1,562,035 in fair market value for our services. Wow. And then dental was our biggest need here in the community, and they made up about half of that fair market value total of the $1.5 million. And then behind them was optometry. They did about a quarter. They were at $441,000, so about a quarter of that. So those were our two biggest services that were in need here in this area. So thank you.
Thank you. I got to say, I really enjoy and impressed with the win-win nature of these two experiences we have now with your teams, and we can't thank you enough. And a couple weekends ago, or last week, I was downtown with my young grandson, and I think members of your team who were in charge with doing a little PR, a little marketing, taking video, taking pictures were down there, and they got to interview my grandson, who's 2.5. So I don't know how that interview went, but one thing they said was how much they enjoyed our community, and they thought it was great people and great place, and that's heartwarming as well, because I know you come from all over the country. So we appreciate the kind words, and we truly appreciate the help you gave our citizens and those in Webster and Union County. So we can't say thank you enough. I'm glad for Fiscal Court to have helped support this, and for Kenny's work helping wherever you were needed, and obviously City and Buzzy, good partners. So is it too presumptuous to hope you come back soon and try this again?
Well, we're actually planning another visit in
Outstanding.
in a couple of years. We're just in the talks about that right now. But we're going to go see Buzzy now and let him talk to them and say their goodbyes, and hopefully we'll get something together again for 2028.
Hey, if you need training, we're open. Thank you very much, all
Thank
of you.
you. Thank you for your
guys.
service.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate y'all.
Mark, that's a tough act to follow, but I will ask Mark Julian to come up and talk about water leaks, which is not nearly as sexy, but important nonetheless.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Yeah, it is a tough act to follow. It's incredibly great that we get help from our service members for our community. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about our project reducing water loss. So we had a couple tough months as we completed our meter changeouts. A third of the system now is on cellular AMI, which means that instead of having to do those monthly meter readings, they're coming in several times a day. So, we went from 35% in April to 24% in May. So it's a market improvement. We're trying to trend back towards that goal of getting below 15%. We're still above it, but we're starting to bounce back. I know that I talked last month. We had a lot of adjustments related to those meter changeouts, and a lot of that stems from those old meters dying. They're excuse me, I've got calls coming in. We've got the financial impact for that water that we're unable to capture revenue for. That's about $27,000 a month if you use our annual cost of about $3.30 per 1,000 gallons. We've got a third of the meters in the system replaced, and we're still making progress with our mapping coverage. Yes, we can't recover lost revenue as far as rates, anything above 15%. That's not to say that we can't get a rate increase from the PSC. I silenced my phone, I promise you. But the older infrastructure is really what's driving this situation. U.S. systems average about 260,000 water main breaks a year, and main replacement in a rural setting like our rural county, is about $800,000 per mile. And we have over 500 miles of main in the system. So not all the mains need to be replaced to get to the root cause of this problem. But about 40% of all the water mains in the system will need to be replaced either now or in the next 10 years. Again, every lost gallon that we purchase but we don't bill or use for operations like for flushing or water quality is lost revenue. And how do we fix this problem is we need to replace the other 2/3 of the meters in the system, and then we need to get those old water mains replaced and then renew those services. So we are working on securing outside funding, not with the fiscal court, for the system improvements project. I actually went to the Water Management Council meeting last week where the Division of Water was there, and we are working closely with GRAD to try to get everything needed to go after the funding that we need to fix this problem. Try to make this as large as I could without stretching it out, but for the 31 days in May, we bought 41 million gallons and we sold just under 30. So that 10 million gallons that we didn't capture or use in operations, that is about $27,000 that we didn't capture back for revenue. So we're continuing to work on the problem. Right now, we're trying to focus on getting our leaks identified and fixed. Flow metering is the last major part of the project that you all have helped us fund. So in the next few months, we are going to work hard, starting in the eastern side of the county where we did our meter changeouts. We're going to start on trying to get those zones flow metered. What that's going to do is that's going to reduce the amount of time it takes. Instead of sending someone out with a listening device and they go every meter, service, and hydrant, they can picture this. Instead of trying to find a needle in a haystack with the flow metering, we'll be able to concentrate in a more precise area. Won't take us as long to identify those leaks. It's just a very large system, and even with the expanded staff and the mapping progress, we really need to get the flow metering in, and that's the last part of this project that will really help us get that water loss as low as possible. The final fix is, like I said before, we're changing out the rest of the meters. If we bought them all today, just the meters would cost $2 million. The big part of the funding, the future of this water district for the next 15 to 30 years is going to be replacing those mains and those services. And unfortunately, that costs a lot of money. The $800,000 for a mile is representative of what we'd be looking at. This just shows our purchased water, that 41 million gallons for the month, and then our water sales is in the bottom right. The only addition that's not on this slide that makes it almost 30 is we had a hydrant rental for the solar contractors, where we rent them a hydrant meter and they attach it to the hydrant, and then we bill them for the gallons that they use for their operations. So we're right at 30 million gallons for the month sold. And there's our leaks fixed for the month. We are trying to work on an issue on 41A. It's kind of a complicated problem, but suffice to say that the oldest tank in our system was built in 1966. It's right there at 266 and 41A. And ever since the city had to put Pratt Tank online with Pratt Paper Plant that came online the last couple of years, actually it came online in 24. When the city did that, it changed how we were fed. And so what it amounts to is we're going to have to upgrade the pumps upstream of that site and then bypass that old standpipe and take it out of service, and then we'll eliminate a costly form of water loss with tank overflows. We don't pump any water to that tank. It comes gravity from the city, because their tank elevation, if where they fill their tank is above where ours is at, then our tank will overflow even with us doing nothing to it. So we're trying to focus on that intently in the next 2 to 4 weeks. We're going to try to get some cost estimates together and try to eliminate that. That's somewhere in the range of about 1 million gallons a month. So it is hurting us. We're just going to focus intently on trying to do that in the flow metering. That's really the efforts going forward. The meter changeouts are all done. Getting the flow metering in and then eliminating those overflows there at Rock Springs at that standpipe is really what we're going to be working on for the next 2 to 4 weeks, next couple of months. So we did our meter change outs. That's gone about as well as it can. We've got about 45% of the system mapped, and more is getting done all the time. We're taking opportunities as they present themselves, like with the gas extension for Henderson Municipal Gas going out towards Geneva. We're using that as an opportunity to really get that main completely mapped and GPSed, so that'll help us in the future. But like I said, the hydrants getting exercised and mapped, that's great. The valves that we need for identifying how to isolate breaks so we don't put more customers out of water, that's important as well. These are what the new meters look like that have the cellular radios. That's just an information sheet that I've printed out for our staff at the water district, so customers will be able to look at their own meter and get some data before I try in the next, I'd say 6 months to a year. We're going to try to get that. There's an app that we can offer to customers in the near future where they'll be able to check their own usage through an app. So just the customers that got their meters replaced. So system-wide, we still have to replace the other 2/3 of the meters, but eventually the hopes is that all customers will be able to take advantage of that for free, be able to see their own usage daily. So, and this is just what the face of the meter looks like. whether they can tell if there's a reverse flow, like in the bottom left corner of this slide. That triangle would indicate if the meter's running backwards. We do put dual check setters in on some applications where we have money to do so, and we've done a little bit of that with some of the fiscal court funding. That just prevents any reverse flow. So looking forward, what are we talking about here? We're going to continue to address leaks in a timely manner. We're going to continue to update and expand our mapping of the system. We're going to begin installing our flow metering in the eastern side of the county and integrate that data into our meter reading platform and our telemetry so that we can find leaks, identify, and get them fixed quicker. And then we're going to finalize our engineering report for our system improvements project. To put funding packages together to replace the other 2/3 of the meters and start working on replacing those water mains and services. We really appreciate the continued support of the fiscal court. And did anyone have any questions?
Could you back up to the water usage where on the, you had Highway 60?
Yes. Back to the slide of?
Yes, please.
Okay.
What, right there?
Yes.
So we went from 1.7 million to 7.6 million?
What you see right here is the meter read. The blue fields right there is the read on May 1st. And then the second one to the right of that, that's the difference between those two. Like if you subtract.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, the usage is in green.
Significant difference, though,
Yeah.
in the reading accuracy.
Yeah.
Just to clarify for folks, because I've seen some of this conversation online, the Henderson County Water District is not a department of county government. It is not
Correct.
overseen by county government. We are participating in this because we saw the need and thought we could help our people out in the county. The Water District has its own board of directors, which we appoint, members of whom we appoint, but that's the limit of our engagement. And
Correct.
you are overseen basically by the Kentucky Public Service Commission in many ways, so
Yeah.
just to clarify that. But we're happy to help, and it's great to see the progress. And the amount of main to be replaced in the next 30 years is daunting, but I'm sure ongoing plans to get as much outside funding as possible is in the works. And
Absolutely.
And you know, I think Kentucky has made a concerted effort to try to help rural potable water availability and or fixing. So good luck. I think you'll probably be successful there. And the grad team can certainly help. So
Absolutely.
glad to see the progress. Any other questions of Mark? Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Okay, next I'll call up Emily Herron. Another grant opportunity for some planning. And I will turn it over to you and give us a little briefing on what the next steps are.
Sure. Good morning. Good to see you all again.
Good morning.
We obviously have had a lot going on over the last year or so, and happy to be here to talk about a different project. This one is a much, much smaller scale than the runway project that we have just been completed, or we are in the process of completing, almost done. So this project is our ALP, which stands for Airport Layout Plan. This is an FAA requirement for any airport that receives federal funds. So if we're going to receive money from the Airport Improvement Plan, then we have to have an ALP in place, and it's typically updated once every 10 years or so. So it's kind of come to that time where it's time for us to update our ALP. What it is it's basically a blueprint showing the current existing facilities and then showing future facilities. So it takes a look at what we've got in terms of our runway, lighting, facilities, hangar facilities, all of that, terminal, where everything is, our instrument approaches, all of that, and then it says, where do we see the airport growing over the next 10 to 20 years? So what new facilities, what new buildings may need to be built, what needs to be updated from a safety standpoint and a building standpoint. So that's kind of what the project is. As I said, it is an FAA requirement. so something that we have to have. It's all design work. There's no construction involved with this project, which is why the price is as low as it is. We don't have any physical stuff going on. It's all, kind of in the hands of the engineers. They work really closely with the airport board. There'll also be, an opportunity for community input and that type of thing as we move forward, similar to a master plan type thing that I know some of our other, county facilities use as well. So that's kind of the overview of that, and I'm happy to answer any questions about it.
I will say that the portion of the match that the county will be responsible for was built into Emily's budget request for next fiscal year. So the money is will be, after we have second reading of the budget, will be appropriated already and included. So we're ready for that.
And it's similar to our most recent runway project, but the FAA we're taking the money out of two different federal pots, so that's why you'll hear in the resolution there's two separate grants technically. I think $150,000 FAA money is coming from the Airport Improvement Program, and then there's about $93,000-ish that's coming out of the IIJA pot of money from the feds. So that's where those two pots are coming from, and then of course those are both being released at 95%. So then there's a 5% left over. Half of that comes from the state of Kentucky, the Department of Aviation. Half of that comes from the local, which means that's even split in two between the county and the city. So it's a pretty small percentage, of money.
Any
You
questions?
promise?
Promise.
Judge, I've
I
reviewed the
promise.
documentation. It's approved
Thankfully,
as
there's
to
less
form.
things to go wrong with the design project, So.
I do want to thank City Attorney Dawn Kelsey for preparing the joint city-county resolutions on these, as I was out a couple days at the end of last week, and she stepped right in and did this up for both entities, and that was a huge help.
I did have a quick question, looking forward.
Yes.
And that's what this is all about, is
Absolutely.
looking forward to the future. I hear about electric planes.
Yes.
And so are we too small for something like that as far as a
No.
landing area? Can you explain that real quick?
No, not at all. The conversation around what we call AAM, which stands for Advanced Air Mobility, so that kind of encompasses a lot of different things. Advanced air mobility looks very different, at least right now, and probably will continue to look different for a place like rural Western Kentucky versus New York City or Los Angeles or some of those other more urban places. So the type of things that those places are looking at is more of like, we need air taxis. We want somebody to be able to get from LaGuardia to downtown Manhattan in 10 minutes, without having to fly an expensive helicopter, without having to get on the subway and the buses and all of that type of thing. So they're looking at more urban mobility, whereas for rural areas, we're thinking in terms of emergency services and connecting our people to some of those more urban areas. So how do we get somebody to a place where they can get on a flight and get to somewhere they need to get to, whether that's business travel, or pleasure, what have you. So there's a lot of different things to think about in terms of what that means for us. But the good thing is, for all of the different types of aircraft that are currently in production, none of which are certified by the FAA just yet. They're in the process, a lot of them are in the process of certification. Some of them are piloted, some of them are unmanned, lots of different stuff. We're right on the brink of like the next level of air travel, which is really exciting. But everything can come right to Henderson City County Airport and land and use our facilities just as they currently are. Now, what we will need in the future would be a way for them to fuel up. We have that currently for all types of aircraft, jets or single-engine piston aircraft. They can all come and get fuel at our airport currently and go to their next destination. Obviously, when we're talking about electrical aircraft, we would need something different and more. That will certainly be a big part of the conversation as we look at what the next 10 years looks like, because if we're not talking about that, we're going to get left behind. So we don't want that to happen. We'll definitely be in the conversation about it. Yep.
That air taxi evolution is pretty fascinating, and there's a potential to build some of these in Kentucky. But imagine a supersized drone that could seat 4 or 5 people, that would fly 100 feet off the ground and not 1,000, and take you where you want to go. Pretty amazing, but we have to account for it.
Absolutely.
So that is coming. That is coming.
So I get a lot of questions because Y'all have bought a lot of properties along the,
Yes.
what's the plan?
So the properties that we're currently purchasing, that are, people are saying, hey, I'm going to sell, are you guys interested? So that's typically kind of how that's going. I have gotten some calls of people thinking we're just going in like trying to buy up every single house, and that's not really the case. But most of the ones, or all of the ones, at least since I've been here, that we've purchased are all connected to what we call our midfield apron. So if you think about the airport right now, all of our current facilities are kind of on that east end of the airport. The runway is, the end of the runway is right out from our terminal and most of our hangars, and then we've got, now a super long runway going out to the west, and then we have an empty ramp that was built several years ago right in the middle of the runway. So that is a place that will be doing a lot of this planning for future facilities around that ramp, as we've kind of run out of space on the other end where things are. So because of that, when we think of if someone wants to come and build a hangar or someone wants to come and build a facility, that's the area we're looking at for growth. And being able to have more of that property stretching from the east to the west there, kind of between that and I think it's Old Court and Geneva Road there.
Yes.
That's having road access to all of those facilities is going to be key. So when a business or a company or somebody wants to come in and say, well, I'd like to build my own facility, I'm going to lease the land from the airport and here's where I want to build, us being able to say you're going to have direct access to the road right out from your hangar is going to be really, that's something they're going to want to see. So that's kind of the plan in us purchasing those properties, is to be able to make sure that we're keeping, that area available for growth, and looking good for prospective builders, prospective companies that want to come in and build there, and also just helps continue to protect our airspace and continue to protect the space around the airport.
So the ramp you're talking about, is that coming off of Ament Drive?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Any other questions of Emily? So we have two resolutions, and we'll be more than happy to just read the summaries if it's okay with you. The first one would be authorizing applications for and acceptance of funding under the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, the federal IIJA. So we will read that one first.
A joint resolution of the Henderson County Fiscal Court and the City of Henderson, Kentucky, authorizing application for and acceptance of funding under the Federal Aviation Administration Airport Improvement Program, AIP, for an airport layout plan and designating and authorizing the Henderson County Judge Executive and the Mayor to execute all necessary documents.
Get a motion approved?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now we'll do the IIJ.
Sorry, I did it backward. A joint resolution of the Henderson County Fiscal Court and the City of Henderson, Kentucky, authorizing application for and acceptance of funding under the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, IIJA, for airport layout plan update and designating and authorizing the Henderson County Judge Executive and the Mayor to execute all necessary documents.
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you
Emily.
all.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck. If you remember back in March, we approved $20,000 for the Highland Creek Conservation District and the watershed, Highland Creek watershed, to help them with improvements along that watershed which impact Henderson County. And we now have a funding agreement in your packet. And this will enable us to send that check, hopefully, before the end of the month and help get them started. Appreciate Steve's work on this, and I hope you had a chance to read the agreement. A couple things that, gives them a lot of accountability as to how they spend the money, and also to be certain that they're spending it on area within Henderson County. And
Judge, I do want to spotlight Kyle Evans in my office for doing a lot of the heavy lifting, or he did all the heavy lifting on this.
Thank you.
I want to spotlight him for that. He does a great job.
And, we'll be inviting a member of the watershed to come in and sign this agreement and understand it, but hopefully it gets them underway. And now that planning season is beyond us, they'll have time to address it, whatever they need. So I can have the clerk read just the summary of this resolution if you would like, if you would be okay with that.
Would be better.
Before I do that, anybody have any
It's
questions
long.
on this? I think you recall the vote back in March. Okay, I'll just have the clerk read the resolution.
Resolution approving the grant funding agreement between the Henderson County Fiscal Court and the Highland Creek Watershed for grant funding for conservation of natural resources in the Highland Creek Watershed located in Henderson County, Kentucky, and authorizing the county judge executive to execute the agreement and all necessary documents related thereto.
And remember, this is for $20,000. If you also recall, they anticipated coming back to fiscal court perhaps next year to potentially ask for more. The court will address that at that time. This does not cover that potential ask.
Yeah, if I remember, I think I asked, was the 20,000 sufficient? And they said for right now, but it may not get us through the end of the year.
That'll be handled under a separate resolution.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I'm going to abstain from the vote again because my situation out there, though.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next, we have our annual sheriff's tax settlements. Sheriff Stoffer, looks like you have anything to add.
Yes, but not necessarily about the tax settlements. The military IRT folks had just left, but they were able to provide our guys in HPD with Stop the Bleed and TAC Med training, which is wound assessment. So I wanted to thank them and acknowledge them for stepping up and on extremely short notice, getting that together and able to provide that training to our deputies. So with that, I'm here to answer questions about the tax settlements. We just completed last week our audit for our 24 taxes, so.
And it went well?
It went well, yes. Again, it's the same things that we have every year, but no major findings on the report.
Team does a really good job.
They do a phenomenal job, and if you look at the tax settlement, currently, we have about $38 million go through our office, and according to our records, that we have an overpayment to the districts of $41 and for 8 different districts. So now again, that's pretty remarkable with that when you're talking about that type of money coming through. And most of those have to do with rounding errors and things that the computer does for us. But those aren't final until the auditors come in.
Any questions of Sheriff Stoffer?
Well done, Sheriff, and
I'd like to take
I
credit
move to
for that,
accept,
but-
Judge.
But I can't.
So
We'll get
I have a question. You just said 8 different districts. Does each district pay y'all?
We collect, yes, we get
Okay.
fees from
Yes.
each of the districts that we collect for. So to me, we have 6, what I consider 6 taxing districts, and then we have 2 ditches, so for a total of 8. In addition to collecting for the volunteer fire departments, which they don't pay fees, we just turn around and send them their money.
Okay.
But yes, in every district is a different fee schedule. And don't ask me what those are, because I don't know, but I know that they're different.
Right. I understand. I just wanted to.
Yes.
It was, I was at a conference and they was talking about the school system actually broke, they started collecting their own. Which sounded like a wonderful idea to me.
It does until it gets, and yes, for them.
Yeah.
For us, no, because that's a fee that we get a portion of. And it'll be interesting to see how that turns out, because again, our information from our Sheriff's Association says we have between a 98 and 99% successful collection rate.
Right.
And that's the reason a lot of these districts ask us to do it, because we get their money for them.
I understand.
What that does, though, is it masks that of your county tax bill, only
Yes.
11% of it goes to the county, but people still call it the county tax bill
Correct.
when,
Right.
Almost 90% of it goes other places.
Correct.
And with that being said, we get blamed for school tax, we get blamed for library tax, and each one of these districts are responsible for their own tax, and we don't have a say.
Correct.
It is what it is. They bring it to us, and we got to just sit up here and yell. Thank you,
Well,
you know?
exactly. And again, and it's lumped into what we term a county tax.
Right.
And really, it's not a county tax. It's everybody else. We just collect it, and we pay it out.
Just to tag on to that and brag a little bit about the court, we haven't touched county taxes in 11 years,
Tax rates, yeah.
tax rate in 11 years.
No increase.
Can the other taxing districts say that?
No.
Judge, I made a motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second to accept the tax settlements. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, Lori Miller with Animal Control Reports. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Morning.
Good morning.
I apologize. What I sent you, I think there was an error on my part or either my computer, so I apologize if you didn't get all of the reporting. But, and I can try to resend that whenever I get back to the shelter. But just to sum up, last month, Animal Control had 25 calls for service, with animals running at large being the biggest number there. Also, within the last month, our animal control officers underwent some more training for animal cruelty investigations, which unfortunately we see that every month there's at least one animal cruelty case, which is most unfortunate. But yes, they just completed more training for that to be better equipped for when those do come. In the last month, we sold 14 city-county tags. So if you're familiar with what the tags are, or those listening who aren't, it's just for folks to register their dogs with the county, so we have record of them. As far as spay and neutering, we did 9 community cats, which I've brought up before is a problem we're trying to address. So 9 doesn't sound like a lot, but if you crunch the numbers on how many litters a cat can have in a year, we're hoping that put a little bit of a dent in the cat problem in our county. We had 27 dogs fixed and 11 cats that were pets, not community cats. We took in at the Humane Society 35 strays. So those were animals from animal control, those running at large. We took in 35 of those. We had 18 animals adopted, and our current population, we have 59 dogs, since I checked this morning, and 17 cats. So I'd like to get those numbers down, so please spay, neuter your pets, and adopt. That's all I have, unless you guys have
I got to
some
share a
questions.
call I got over the weekend. It was there's some baby rabbits
Oh, yeah, it's
running, in some of my neighbors' property, and there's a big white cat with a black spot on his hip, and they wanted to know who I could call
for the cats or the
for the
rabbits?
cat. No, I know you don't touch the rabbits and you don't mess with the cats. So I told them, let me see if I was right. I said the best thing to do if you can go down and get some sort of trap or something, and I assume you'd want to trap the cat because the baby rabbits are with the mother.
So actually, if you were to relocate a cat or any community or feral cats, that actually doesn't fix anything. It just creates a vacuum to where more cats take their place. So just relocating that population of cats isn't going to do anything. I recommend usually people to use deterrents if you do have cats that are, killing birds on your property and you love watching the birds, or messing with baby bunnies or any of your personal pets. So deterrents, there's a lot out there that you can use to keep cats away. But
Well-
relocating isn't going to help, unfortunately. And
What
sorry
is-
for the bunnies, the circle
what's
of
the
life.
deterrent? 'Cause
So-
what popped in my head is not
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
I know.
There's different things available. So it could be
Cayenne
either,
pepper won't work.
no, some people say rosemary plants, but honestly, a sprinkler, a very cheap sprinkler system that's motion activated, cats will learn pretty quickly. You can condition them to know that whenever that goes off, okay, I don't want to keep returning to this spot. There's also different like pheromone things you can buy on Amazon to keep them away. So a little bit of research you can, because we get these calls all the time with cats destroying people's
And you try
property.
to explain to somebody that's just caring about the baby rabbits and
Sure.
the cat's annoying, you know, that, and nobody claimed, I don't know where this cat comes from. I really have no
No
idea.
one ever
I try
does.
to, I ask her, I kind of know who's got cats.
Sure.
But this one here, nobody's claiming, so I'm assuming it's a feral cat. And
So that would be, yeah, a community cat.
yeah,
So someone's
and I
caring
said,
for
they're
it
not
and feeding
governed
it.
under no KRS.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so unfortunately, animal control will not intervene with stray cats because they would just be on stray cat calls all day. It's
but
such a
as you can see,
problem.
that wasn't the answer they wanted to hear from me.
No, that
so.
it's never the answer they want to hear.
You just never
Thank
know
you.
where a conversation in a fiscal court meeting is going to go.
You never know, especially when it comes to my department.
Can you confirm for me that animal control got the truck that it needed?
Yes.
And the box that went in it?
Yes, they have the truck and the box, and they love it. It's working great.
Good.
Excellent, excellent. Any more questions, Lori?
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Next, Jailer Bruce Todd with a detention center report.
Good morning, Court.
Good morning, sir.
How y'all? You have the quarter report before you. It's due June the 30th, and so I went ahead and prepared it and I sent it to you. There's a few items that we've completed. Phone system working well, air conditioned. We have the second B hall air unit has given us some problems. It's an older unit also, but it needs a communication board, and it's on order. It should be here, so hopefully we're going to limp through that another year with that one. Everything else, we're good. Commissary building is going to need to expand sometime in the future, 10 foot by 40. We'll get somebody will get some bids on that. With 500 inmates, it's growing, and we're running out of room. Currently, we have 34 male deputies, 19 females, and we're down 4 males and 2 females right now. The female is, we need another female to take the KYTC position. Other one, she no longer wants to, so. Other than that, we're good. Population is, today is 485. We got 194 federal inmates, and 127 states, which they're climbing, so that's good. And then 121 counties. So, any questions?
Any questions of Jailer Todd? Motion to accept the report.
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And before you leave, if you don't mind me saying,
Okay, yeah, I can go ahead.
Jailer Todd has submitted his resignation in order to retire. He's reached that point in his career, and he will be retiring at the end of June. And that is bittersweet because you've done a good job. And for those who might not know, Bruce also served 3 terms as a magistrate for District 2. And it's nearly 20 years of service to the people of this community. We appreciate what you've done, and you've done an excellent job at the jail. And sad to see you go, but I know the grandchildren are calling, and the family like to see you at home more, and completely understandable. So we're going to be having a reception for Bruce on June 30th at 3 p.m. here in the fiscal courtroom, and we invite everybody to attend and help us celebrate Bruce's career in county government and service of county people. So I'd like you all to stand and join me in a round of applause for Bruce.
Yeah, I just want to say I appreciate the working together, how well we work together, the team, court, your support for the staff, for the detention center. Made it a lot easier, being jailer and working out there, and I am going to miss it. No, I will. I mean, it's never a good time, and after the time is right, new fiscal year, a new budget, and we'll have a new jailer. So.
I will be appointing Anthony Willett on July 1st to finish out the rest of your term here this calendar year and try to make it as smooth a transition as possible, and we'll help in any way we can to facilitate that. I know you got some projects going on, but we'll try to do the best we can to keep that headed down the track. And once again, we appreciate all your service to the people and in the last 3.5 years as jailer.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Bruce. We go back a long way. We've served a lot together,
have.
And Bruce.
Yes, sir.
There might be some ray of sunshine for me because Debbie and Cindy won't be doing that shopping all the time.
Save us some money. Yeah.
Thank you,
very much,
Bruce.
Todd. Thank you. Anybody that's watched this fiscal court for a very long time has seen Bruce Todd both as a magistrate and as a jailer. They've seen over the years how there have been a lot of challenges out of the jail, whether that be getting stability with vendors, whether that be retention of employees, things like that. And in the 3.5 years you've been there at the jail, you've been able to stabilize a lot of that, where it may be chaos out there, I don't know, but at least from what's happening, what the fiscal court sees, it seems like that you've been able to do some wonders out there. So good job, well done, sir, and you will be missed, and you leave very big shoes.
Thank you. I'm living proof you can fool all the people all the time.
Hey, Bruce. Hey, Bruce, I'm going to speak for Taylor as well, too, because we enjoyed working with you. And I know you was on the jail committee before I was,
Yeah, right.
so it's been a pleasure, and it's made it kind of easy on Taylor and I, too. So we didn't have all those issues necessarily, again, that Steve just mentioned. But thank you.
Good jailer, better man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Again, June 30th, 3 p.m. Join us on the 30th at 3 if you can. Bernice Abner, County Clerk, your report.
Well, I just want to say congratulations to Bruce. Very well done. I appreciate everything that Bruce did for us in the office when he was a magistrate, and a wonderful job as jailer. So very excited and just thankful. Thankful for you. Good morning, and thank you for having me. Today I have the payments for May 2026. Excess fees in the amount of $92,170.89, and the total for May is $142,619.38.
Any questions of Bernice?
Move to accept.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the county clerk payments. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Gold, your report.
Judge, I've got several checks today. Interest in the amount of $349.35 flow through from the city, $458.33. Another interest check, $72.19. Health insurance, $18,672.17. Dental Life and Vision, $670.34 and $11.10. Aflac, $403.06. And the Deaconess Clinic cost $336.88 for a total today of $20,973.42, and bringing the fiscal year total to date $302,257.04.
Motion to accept. Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept county attorney payments. Any other questions of Steve? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next, I'll call up Treasurer Brenda Ryder. We have the second reading of the 2026-27 fiscal year budget.
This is the second reading of the budget for fiscal year 2027. The budget is balanced with respect to revenues and appropriations. This budget has also been reviewed and approved by DLG, the Department of Local Government, as to form and classification. The total of the budget is $39,955,332. The funds breakdown is general fund, $12,917,231. Road fund, $5,754,062. Jail fund, $10,016,388. LGEA fund, which is the Local Government Economic Assistance Fund, $3,646,498. State Grants Fund, $1,663,319. Federal Grants Fund, $2,500,000. Economic Development Fund, $100,000. Opioid Settlement Fund, $162,834. Clerk SB 135, which is the Clerk Permanent Storage Fund, $45,000. Employee Health Insurance Fund, $3,150,000. ARPA Fund, $0. The total for this budget for fiscal year 2027 is $39,955,332.
Thanks again for all the hard work on the budget and everybody making sure that we are staying sustainable. And
Move to approve, Judge.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Any other questions of Treasurer Ryder? We will call the roll.
Magistrate Starks.
Aye.
Magistrate Barry.
Aye.
Magistrate Southard.
Aye.
Magistrate Tompkins.
Aye.
Magistrate Putnam.
Aye.
And I'll vote aye for the record as well. Next, we have fund transfers.
The transfers are as presented, and this is redistributing existing appropriations within the current fiscal year. These are necessary to complete the fiscal year end. I also have one cash transfer from the Grants Fund to the Jail Fund, $30,192. This is to correct the electronic fund transfer from the Bureau of Prisons for the June 2026 bank statement. I also need to ask at the end of your transfer sheet, which is page 3, I'm asking for transfer approval to correct any deficit appropriation lines that may fall after today, which would be due to underestimating fiscal year-end encumbrances and year-end standing orders.
Judge, I would move that we accept that.
We have a motion to accept transfers and giving Brenda the power to correct little things before the end of the fiscal year. So,
Second.
second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Claims?
You have received the bank balances after paying claims today. The overall appropriation usage for the current fiscal year is approximately 77% of the budget. A fund breakdown for that is the general fund equates to about 76%, the road fund 58%, the jail fund 90%, and the employee health insurance about 86%. Those percentages is what each of those funds are related to their overall budget. Employee health insurance 86% as compared to 100%. In addition to the road fund, there was an additional $150,000 used from the LGEA fund and approximately $1.4 million used from the ARPA fund for infrastructure and resurfacing and maintenance of county roads. would you like to address the revenue, Judge, or?
Well, you see on the printouts, we met budget and exceeded budget on all revenues. I think we did a good job of pegging conservative revenue estimates, and we will once again finish in the black, well in the black overall, which is testament to both department heads, their teams, and the budget process, and being conservative on the revenue. And so, once again, this is the kind of performance that allows us to cut the insurance premium tax in half, and along with new revenue from coal severance. So those things combined keep us in a very healthy position, finance-wise, and revenues are strong. So, thank you.
I do have additional claims. From the general fund to Teresa Childers, $5,445.28. This is for the fiscal year 27 training incentive, and is to be paid with the July 2nd, 2026 payroll, and is to come from the Treasurer Training Incentive Appropriation line. To Magistrates Tim Southard and Bill Starks, $160.04 each. This is for training reimbursement and is to come from the Fiscal Court's Conferences Training Appropriation line. To the vendor Ray O'Haron, $2,380. This is for Sheriff Department uniforms and is to come from the Sheriff Uniform Allowance Appropriation line. To Gregory Risch, $844.08. This is for a 2025 payroll tax refund where Mr. Rich actually resides in Henderson County but works out of state. And this is to come from the refund appropriation line. Also to the Kentucky State Treasurer, $665. This is for elevator inspections in the Courthouse and Judicial Center and is to come from the Judicial Center renewals and repairs and the renewals and repairs courthouse appropriation lines. From the road fund to Brandon's lawn care and landscaping, $3,000. This is for the Highway 60 and roundabouts mowing and is to come from the contracted construction appropriation line. From the jail fund to Barrett Fisher Company Incorporated, $600.66. This is to come from the cleaning supplies and paper products and is to come from those appropriation lines. To Republic Services, $1,053.97. This is for monthly service and is to come from the contracted services appropriation line. I need to make a correction. From the general fund to Magistrates Tim Southard and Bill Starks, it is $760.04 each, not $160. I apologize. That's it.
You have a motion to pay claims?
So moved.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Any other questions on claims? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
As a bit of new business, been several comments about potentially developing a data center ordinance for the county. And as it turns out, Planning Commission Executive Director Brian Bishop has already been doing research to that end, and after consulting with him through some emails to my office, and then I also want to talk to Planning Commission Chairman David Dixon about his estimation on how the Planning Commission can handle a request to begin that process, considering everything else they have on their plate at the moment. So before we have those conversations, I would suspect that we'll be able to make some sort of action, some sort of progress, depending on the answers to those questions, especially about the Planning Commission's schedule at the moment, to address this in July formally, or perhaps in August, again, depending on Chairman Dixon's estimation of how readily they can handle yet another issue like this. So stay tuned on that. We are now going to go into executive session based on KRS
61.8101C, discussion of pending litigation against the public agency. This involves a litigation over a building permit.
So I'll entertain a motion to go into
So
executive
moved.
session.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We do not anticipate a vote coming out of this executive session. We will resume when we are through with our discussion.
Imagine that.
Okay, entertain a motion to go back into public meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? If anybody would like to speak for good of the county, you're welcome to come up to the podium. Please introduce yourself.
Good morning, Fiscal Court. Thank you for your time. My name is Stephen Land. I work for Stellar Renewable Power. We're the owner of the 50-megawatt Henderson County Solar Project. With that being said, with this portion of the meeting titled Good of the County, I wanted to raise a couple facts about our project that I think is important to the county. Our project has a 20-year power purchase agreement with Hempel. Over those 20 years, this project will save Hempel $60 million. That's the estimate. Without this project, ratepayers are looking at an 8.5% increase in their utility bill. This is noteworthy in my mind, and I just wanted to put this on the public record.
Thank you. Anybody else for good of the county? Please introduce yourself.
Cindy Bigwarmer. Do you need my address or anything?
No.
I just have a question. Since data centers have been mentioned, could one of the magistrates, request that there be a moratorium put on that today?
Today? I think I explained what our plan was before we went into executive session.
Yeah, I was just wondering if that could go ahead and get started today instead of waiting.
Not now, no.
Okay. Thank you.
Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Joseph Horton. I'm a resident here in Henderson County. So I would like some clarification, because I know when we were dealing with the wind turbines back last year, it seemed like we were pretty quick to get a moratorium in place, but it seems like we might be a little hesitant on the data centers. I was wondering if we could have a little bit more explanation on why we are waiting for a moratorium on the data centers.
Did you hear my explanation before we went into executive session?
I did, and I'm asking for further clarification.
Yeah. I want to make sure that the chairman of the Planning Commission feels like they can deal with this right now because they have so much else on their plate. If we ask for a moratorium at this point, it'll take development of language, public hearings, perhaps more than one, and be yet another thing the Planning Commission has to handle, which if they feel like they can do it, we'd be happy to. I just want to hear from him and have a discussion with him before we move forward. I anticipate we'll be able to take some sort of action, hopefully in July or August.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for good of the county? Okay, we'll go around the horn. Magistrate Southard.
I just want to say thanks for the military coming in and doing what they did. It was, it's awesome. I mean, they put that much into the county as far as, the medical services stuff. You're talking about millions of dollars worth of free services. That's awesome. I mean, it helps so many people, and it made me really, really proud to hear what they said about our community too. It's makes me glad that I do serve, and I'm also proud of my military. So the county roads, we finished up the blacktop in my district. I think last week. I think is when they finished it. Looks great. We turned a gravel road into a blacktop road. The 4 houses that were living on the gravel road are, I seen a guy mowing his yard today, and he was smiling from ear to ear because he wasn't having to eat the dust too. So it's a good thing, and I'm glad we're able to do it. I'm always available in my district if it's the county. If you need to talk to me, my number is published, and I don't always answer because it's ringing right now, but I'll call you back. So, other than that, all's good in District 3. Thanks.
Thank you. Master Tompkins.
Nothing for me, Judge.
Master Putman.
Thank you, Judge. Just want to thank all of you and all of our department heads and elected officials for ending a banner year for the community. You know, when you hear from time to time that, well, you got all that money. What are you going to do with it? Well, we always got to think kind of a little bit outside the box what can happen as far as a tornado or any bad weather can hit here. And we would have enough. We wouldn't have to borrow money like they did down in Western Kentucky when all that hit. I mean, they created a lot of debt because they had no revenue, no reserve. So that's kind of the way we think about the money. I'm not saying, we can't spend some of it, but again, I think our conservative approach to our bank accounts and our investments has worked very well for this community. And all is good and forth.
Mr. Gold.
Been busy in the county attorney's office, but things are good because I'm surrounded by a fantastic team of wonderful people, and I appreciate every blessed one of them. So it's an honor to serve as your county attorney.
Master Berry.
Thank you, Judge. I don't have much. Good points, Magistrate Pubman. Right on the point. And about the military, Tim said about that. We got a great military, and we're really, really glad they were here. They've done some wonderful work, saved people a lot of money, so we were glad to have them. I was going to congratulate Jailer Todd, but I think he left. I've worked here and been around Bruce for years, many years, and he does a good job, good guy. The rodeo, the Henderson County Rodeo, I'm going to take this from you. I know you got that over there somewhere. I think is it July 3rd and 4th?
I believe that's right.
I think that's right, yeah. At the county fairgrounds, so everybody get out. It's a good time. They have a lot of people. Kids love the rodeo. It's just a good family event. I didn't mean to take it away from Bill because he don't forget anything, and I do. But anyway, I think we're good in District 1, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Master Starks.
Thank you, Judge, and good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us and being with us. I couldn't have said it better, Tim, about our IRT folks. I'm so happy that we could partner with the city again to bring them back, and hopefully, like the judge said, would love to have them back again because the need is out there. You can just see it. There were people lined up waiting for eye exams. I serve on the county health board. We know that there is a deficit when it comes to dental care, especially for people that can't afford it and that don't have a regular dentist, and that's all ages, youth on up. And they provided that. And to add the hearing screenings was a great, I think, thing as well. So, and I love it because it allows our community to interact with our service members. We don't often get that opportunity. We don't have a National Guard post here anymore even. So to just be able to say thank you to them, to see them in person and know that they're, taking time from their lives and from their families to serve our country and to serve us. Again, it's kind of really hard to put into words just what it means. So, talking about storms, which we had some really bad storms come just to our north. Had they been just a few miles south, who knows? But it is that time of year, so be prepared, stay alert. There wasn't a lot of hype on that system that came through southern Illinois and southern Indiana the other night. Things can rapidly develop, and we don't have maybe as much weather service coverage as we once did because of federal cuts. So it behooves all of us just to stay weather aware and have your plan ready, know where to go, when to go, have your apps on your phones, have multiple ways to get warnings and all that. Again, I do want to say congratulations to Bruce Todd. He has done a yeoman's job. He's done well above and beyond. And if you go around this state and look at county jails and see how ours operates, and especially financially, it's second to none. And we're very blessed to have folks that care enough to do that. And I wish Mr. Willett the very best when he takes over in that position. Renisa was here just a little bit ago, and that reminds me that we'll have a transition in that very important office as well, and she's practically just grown up here at the courthouse as many years as she's been here. Go to the rodeo? I agree. It's a lot of fun. And what's great, Nick and all the road crew out there, what they've done to the fairgrounds. When I first came to Henderson in '84, we didn't have a dedicated fairgrounds. You know what we had? Riverside Downs, the old harness track. We had to borrow somebody else's property just to be able to put on even a small county fair. And now, look at all the facilities. We've got state grandstands, pavilions, and we can have all kinds of neat events out there. So take advantage of that. And again, I hope folks did enjoy the Handy Festival this past weekend. We still have Songfest coming up and Bluegrass Festival, Keith. And so we'll be talking about that, in August. So with that, long-winded Bill Stephen Starks says everything else is good in the 5th District.
Thank you, Bill. I do want to say congratulations again to all the folks who helped with Handy. Another banner year, some of the larger crowds we've seen, and a lot of visiting business people in to experience it for the first time, and got nothing but good reports on that. Encourage you to take part in county fair activities, including the rodeo and all the 4-H stuff and the pageants and all those things which people enjoy. Are looking forward to some of the upcoming festivals we have too as well. My compliments to the IRT team and all that they did over the last 2 weeks, and hopefully they'll come back soon. Speaking of roads, if I can get Nick to come up, I know. Nick, I'd just like you to take a moment and recap the number of miles of roads that we either paved or rocked this past year paving seasons, if you can.
This past year, or since 2022, since I've been here? Which way?
This past year.
This past year, we did 12, 13, 17 and a half miles. 2 miles of that was brand new asphalt over top of gravel. That's something that I've talked to the magistrates that hopefully that I've been wanting to do, is trying to get everybody who has a house in front of a gravel road paved. And I know the argument is, hey, they knew what they were doing when they bought it. They were in front of a gravel road. But if we have excess funds in the road department where we can do that, we can pave and we can make it economically feasible to pave a gravel road right beside an asphalt road and make the asphalt dollars less, then we're going to. There's no reason Betty on the corner should eat dust because Johnny runs 90 mile an hour down a gravel road. So if we can pave it, now it does 2 things. Number one, it knocks our maintenance costs down because we're not grading it, we're not bringing rock out there, a common occurrence. Plus, it's also a safety factor. Is you don't have a slick surface. Now you have an asphalt surface that becomes a higher friction surface and a higher cornerability and maneuverability, and not have to worry about people going in ditches. So it serves 2 purposes. And since everybody's like killing birds with 2 birds, 1 stone or something like that, so we're able to get 2 things knocked out, which is paving the roads, and it's typically just a drop in a bucket when we're paving right next to that road. When we do surface, all we gotta do is change it to base, and they can pave that. So we typically rock about 30 or so miles a year. We've got 125 miles of gravel road, so that lets you know how much we do there. A lot of our gravel roads are up out of the flood basin, so they typically do not get inundated with water. Everything around the river, Green River, Ohio River, Everything on the west side of Tim's section, it all gets wet. Everything from Ohio River number 1 and Greenville Road number 1, number 2, they all get wet. Most everything else stays dry, so those are typically the roads that we are constantly, pushing and pushing. Because you get flood, even though the flood comes up fast and goes down fast, or comes up slow and goes down slow, it doesn't take the rock with it, but it leaves behind silt and it's all muddy, and you really can't wash rock. So it always takes us a point to be able to try to grade the mud off, retain all the rock we can, and bring new rock in. So even though it wasn't a dangerous flood or a damaging flood for the roads, it still leaves silt. We still got to rock it. So that's just and that's a point that we're always going to have to pay. There's really no financial benefit to be able to pave everything out in the county, because once you pave a gravel road, and especially one that gets flooded, your subgrades always stays wet, and you can't close a road down because the subgrade's wet, saying sorry, hang on farmers until it dries out and then go. The best thing to have always is gravel roads, because they're a flexible flexible structure, and they kind of move with the vehicles. So it's not a subgrade dependent. But yeah, we've since and I've just got my all of my assessments done, complete on all my roads. So I got a cool little map. Anybody wants to see that, about all the roads and the assessments where we're at as far as perfect, good, mediocre, needs service, and then definitely needs service. So I kind of use that to plan how we move throughout the county for the roads and paving.
So pavement and maintaining of gravel roads amounted to 47 miles of work this year between the two.
Yeah, and that's excess funding. Now typically, we have 2 graders all day long. All they're doing is grading gravel roads, and we have 4 mowers. All they do all day long is mow. So that's day in, day out. The only time they're not mowing or grading is if we got a snowstorm or we're in the middle of a impending rain. So,
well, thanks for filling us in on that.
Hey, Judge, could I add one thing before
Sure.
Nick leaves? The gravel to blacktop, I got a gravel to blacktop story. A lady out in my district, she had called me one day and she said, we'll back up. The gravel or the blacktop ended, Nick, 500 feet before her driveway? And it was dusty. And she was telling me about the dust, couldn't wash her car and all this stuff. She'd been trying to get it done, never could get it done. We got that done this year, and she wouldn't have been happier with a new grandchild. I'm telling you. She was absolutely tickled to death, and it made me feel good. And she was excited. So we got that 500 or 600 feet done just past her driveway. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal to people. You can't keep your car clean or anything.
But the reason why that worked out so well was a short section of base, which is a no-no for asphalt companies, because the shorter they had to go, less money they make, less asphalt they put down. But we were already out there paving East Pike, West Pike, and Highland, which is right beside where she was at. So essentially, they didn't even have to load up their equipment. They just kind of turned the corner, went down about a quarter mile, and there they were paving. So their trucks didn't have to move around. They didn't have to load up their paver, their rollers, their water truck, their asphalt, the emulsion truck. All that was able just to be able to be, tracked down to the next county. To the next county road, which was that road that we were taking care of. And again, that's ideally what we're trying to do is piece out everything where somebody lives all day long. There's no reason they should eat dust if we have the funds and the means to take care of it.
And we do. So thank you very much, Nick.
Thank you all.
To follow up on Butch's point, one of the reasons it was so important to build a healthy reserve is 3 reasons, basically. Emergency, natural disaster issues, of course, emergency infrastructure requirements, or some emergencies like the leaks in the water district system. We were able to help them to the tune of $3 million without really having to worry about that. The third thing is economic development opportunities. And make no mistake that in that world, we compete against much larger communities all the time. However, it's a pleasure to say when leadership or site selectors come into our community wondering about our viability is the location for a new economic development project that no community will be able to provide more local incentives in any fashion they take than us. They may not choose us for a variety of other reasons, but the lack of support locally, either financial or in-kind or whatever it takes, will never be the problem. And that is satisfying. And I've been able to tell that to 2 groups just in the last month. And again, you never know why necessarily companies choose one or the other. There's lots of other factors involved, but local support, local wherewithal, the local ability to build necessary infrastructure and fund that is not our problem. We can do whatever they need. So that's the third thing too. It helps bring jobs and prosperity to our community by being able to have resources like that. So proud of that. So without further ado, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor can leave.